Brendan, when you're looking at those coin flip games, of the games you consider 50-50, which do you think would be the most crucial for FSU?
So one thing that October stretch that you outlined, I think that's totally realistic. I feel like that's brutal and that could be season defining, especially in the context of like, ACC conference standings and, if you maybe punch above your weight class in some areas of the season, like maybe actually competing for a division crown. I know that sounds a little hyperbolic, but like, that's not crazy. No. If you take care of business and say you go 4-1 in that stretch and all of a sudden you're in the driver's seat just based on the teams you're playing. But if we're like, one game that I want to kind of push back a little on that, like, I think is super important. I don't want to overlook it just in terms of like that momentum you established. I think when we talk about this being a coin flip game, this is important. Florida State LSU. Like, I think that as a tone setter and just to be like, we beat an SEC school, to be able to go and say that in the locker room, for that to be a nationally televised game. And then you have a bye week, so you get kind of like all that time to kind of sit on that and marinate versus if it's a loss. Like, I think that's a really, really big game for the Mike Norvell era for this particular season. And to really, I mean, let's say you beat Duquesne like you should. I mean, to start 2-0, like all of a sudden, man, and that win includes an SEC program, I think all of a sudden that you're talking about like that changes the math of what the season could be. And that's really important in my opinion, especially if people are trying to change the long-term outlook of the Mike Norvell era and, contract extensions, recruiting momentum. Beating LSU, I think, is would be a big step forward for FSU.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to say LSU, but I think you changed you changed my mind, Brendan. LSU, especially like you said, given the optics of the situation, given how last season started, going 2-0 and beating an SEC team basically in home territory, which, by the way, I don't know if you're going to be in New Orleans for New Orleans for that game, Brendan. I plan to be. I think it's going to be a good time. But
you're going to have a hand grenade? You're going to get a little crazy on Bourbon Street?
Oh, of course, man. I didn't get to go during my my college tenure. I just graduated May 1st. So like having to deal with the whole COVID situation, never got to go to New Orleans, so I'm really excited for that opportunity.
You can go to Bourbon Street now and contract something else, I'm sure, if you have enough fun.